Hello friends, I'm Baltmatrix, and today we are going to be talking about my need for a shave and a haircut. Okay, not really. We're going to be talking about Voyager class Long Haul from the Studio Series line. This figure just randomly showed up as being available on Amazon, and a big shout out to tfu.info and their Twitter account for pointing that out. Otherwise, I would have never found the thing. Long Haul is, as I said, a Voyager class figure, and he is super chunky. Look at all this chunk. He is a chunky boy, and I'm perfectly okay with that. What I'm not okay with is he's got some wiggling going on, and the wiggling is a little bit disturbing because there's a ratchet in here that's supposed to be for his Devastator foot mode, but that's a lot of wiggle room there. I don't know. Getting a close-up look at Long Haul, you can see that the detail on the actual figure is really good. The molding is incredibly well done, he's painted well, and overall it's just a really solid-looking figure. Which is kind of funny because, you know, he's kind of floppity in some places. As I said, here at the, torso swivel. And then his knees are a little bit on the loose side. I'm going to try and tighten them up, specifically these pins that are his knee joints. They feel a little bit loose to me, but I think I can tighten them up. Now, some things you need to know is that the figure is mistransformed, or I should say not fully transformed in the packaging. His toes are folded up, so you do have to fold them out. And I would have loved for the toes to be able to fold out just a little bit more. They do fold almost flat, but not all the way. Also, his backpack is, as you can see here, folded up correctly, but in the packaging, it's down here at his ankles, so that's easily remedied. Head sculpt is absolutely fantastic, and all the painting and all the good molding that's going around, not only in the head, but all around the head, work really, really well. He is on kind of this hinged ball joint. So there's a ball joint where the head is, there's a little hinge just underneath it. So you can get some downward looking, but you can't really get his head to look up. That's as far up as it goes. But honestly, I'm okay with that. Other posability is a swivel here in the upper shoulder, hinge joint for in and out movement, though it is limited thanks to the giant tire here on or above the shoulder, though it is attached to a hinge. There is a 90-degree bend, just a little bit over 90-degree bend at the elbow. Swivel is just above that. The hands do not articulate in any sort of way, but the plastic is bendable a little bit there. I really wish the hands would open and close. There is that torso articulation that's a ratchet that, yeah, it's got a good snap to it, but too much wiggle. For the hips, we've got forward and back ratchets, but all the kibble, especially on the thighs and on the back, just get in the way of the legs. Hinge for kicking out. Rotation just below where the actual knee joint is, and then the knee kind of bends 90 degrees, though it's in a weird spot. You would think it's actually right here, but it's actually up in the thigh, which is just a little odd. Toe articulation for the transformation, and it always pops out of place on mine. And then he's got ankle twists, or I should say ankle hinges, because Long Haul needs ankle articulation, I guess. Long Haul is incredibly difficult to pose simply because of the amount of chunk that the figure has. He's got so much to him that everything gets in the way of everything else. The tires get in the way of the shoulders. These giant radiator grills for hips or thighs get in the way of him moving. The backpack gets in the way of the legs, but it can flip up a little bit, so you can get some oddly weird poses out of the dude. It's just, it feels chunky and kind of immobile at times, but once you start futzing with it and once you start playing with it, things do move out of the way a little bit, except for these shoulder tires. These shoulder tires, yeah, you can move them, but they swing forward and he looks real dumb like that. Now it's time for a little family portrait going on here with our good buddies scrap metal, and, well, in this case he's called Rampage, but he has like 6 different names. Yes, Longhaul's chunk does get in the way, but like with many of us, the chunk is still lovable. And I really like the look of this. This is a great looking Voyager class figure. They really did a good job with the way this figure looks and is painted. It's just nice. And it works really well. The grain works. I don't know what kind of color gray this is. Everything about this figure just works for me. Yeah, he's got a few flaws, but otherwise I like him a lot. One thing I also really like about the figure is the transformation. It's actually way easier than I ever could have imagined. So, to get started, let's go ahead and take a look at these big toes of his. Fold them up into the shins. Great. Now, come to the wheels that are on the side and fold them all the way back to the back of the legs. Straighten the legs out. Then take the feet, or the lower legs, turn them 180 degrees, and push those feet together, like so. Congratulations, you're already almost done. Next, come up to the arms and kind of push the shoulders down and swing the tires in front of the robot's head. Then come to the outer arms and they will pull away from the figure like that, spin them 180 degrees, and then come inside and flip this panel out. Now, one word of warning, this panel will flip out a little bit, or almost all the way, and then you push it up, and then it'll snap into place. So we'll do that again on the other side. Pull it out, turn it 180, flip out the panel, almost get it all the way out, push it up, and then it'll snap into place, like that. Okay, now, what we want to do is make sure that the legs are pointing straight down the body of the figure so that the entire leg section is parallel with the rest of the body. Grab the entire backpack and flip it down, and this whole entire chunky section will peg into what were the legs. And if you don't have everything lined up 100% correctly, just try to do that, otherwise the legs will not peg into place correctly. All right, now what do we do with these arms? Well, these shoulders. What I like to do is turn the shoulders so that they are pointing back, and then bend the elbows, turn the arms out like this so that he's kind of doing that, and then the shoulders will collapse into the inside of the body, and they will peg into place. It's hard to get that to show up on camera. Next, take the entire, well, I kind of screwed up a little bit. So you weren't supposed to flip this panel around 180 degrees. You can collapse that into the forearm. There's a little peg right there. And then this will peg into the back of the dump truck, those missiles that are at the tips. So then again, turn it around, collapse the shoulders, go back and refilm the entire section that you did with these panels to not turn them around, collapse it, and then snap it into place like so. Oh, and these little pegs that are here, you can just barely see them. They will fit into the palms of the hands, but come on. Now to finish the transformation up, take the wheel, pull it a little bit away from the body, and the wheel will actually peg into that little peg in the robot armpit, like that. And do that on both sides, like that. And then push this down a little bit and peg these bits into the side. This is actually the worst part of the transformation, because no matter what I've done, and I know I've done something wrong here, these little bits just don't want to peg in. So they snap into place, and they sound awful when they peg in, but they don't stay pegged in. And that's probably just me screwing up the transformation somewhere, and it's putting too much torque or too much pressure on these little bits back here, and they just pop out of place. And that is the dump truck mode. That works really well. This dump truck mode works incredibly well for me. I think it looks good, even though it's not in typical Caterpillar yellow. Caterpillar is the #1 maker of these kind of dump trucks. Yeah, this works really well. Unfortunately, The bed isn't flat like the original Voyager class figure. You got the arms sticking up here. Whatever. I don't really care about that. And here are the 3 Constructicons that have been released so far in their vehicle modes. As you can see, scrap metal is wee tiny compared to Long Haul and Bone Crusher. Bone Crusher, jeez. Yeah, Rampage. Or Whiplash, or whatever the heck his name is right now. And if you're really silly, like me, you can make the Constructicon Tower! I like Long Haul a lot, and I'm really happy with the Constructicons that have been released so far. Now, I realize I haven't reviewed Rampage yet. Let me know if you want to see that review. He's a very simple figure, but a lot of fun. I did review Scrap Metal, which you can see somewhere. Maybe I'll put that at the end of this video. Anywho, I like this guy. I picked him up over at Amazon. I think he's still in stock at the time of this recording. I ordered it on a Wednesday, and it's Thursday, the day after I ordered it, and he was here like before noon, according to my tracking, or the tracking info online. So that was a quick turnaround. However, if you're really concerned about packaging, yeah, it came in a standard, like kind of protected yellow Amazon envelope. So yeah, packaging didn't really, it got kind of wrecked, we'll say. This guy also does transform into a leg mode. I'm just not going to show that in this video. I might do another video, or maybe when I do Rampage, I'll do a comparison between the 2 legs, because this guy forms a leg and Rampage forms a leg, and both legs are equally kind of creepy looking. And so folks, let me know what you think of this figure down in the comments. Be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons, and be sure to hit the bell so you know when a new video is out. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I'm Baltmatrix, and I will catch you next time.